Good morning, church. Today we're on Psalm 90. And in Psalm 90, verse 12, it says, "So teach us to number our days that we may get a heart of wisdom." I was reminded of this truth recently when I heard just the heartbreaking news of a pastor in Nashville that he was 47 years old and he walked out to his mailbox and collapsed. And a neighbor found him and he was rushed to the hospital, but unfortunately he never regained consciousness and he died a couple days later. And it's so easy for all of us, myself included, to be so focused on and so wrapped up in temporal things in the here and now and lose sight of the eternal perspective that God desires us to have. And all of us want our lives to have real meaning and significance and purpose. And we know that this life is not all there is, that God has put eternity into our hearts. And so how can we live with an eternal perspective? Well, first we need to know that to know and trust what God says about who we are and who He is, that our lives are a mess, that we have rebelled against God who is holy, and we have chosen to go our own way, but that God in His goodness, His grace, His mercy, His love has made a way through His Son, Jesus Christ, in His life and death and resurrection, so that all who humbly come to Him in repentance and faith can be restored to a right relationship with God. And now, as followers of Jesus, we center our life around these two things of, number one, the great commandment, where Jesus says in Matthew 22, 37 through 39, to love God with all of our heart, soul, mind, and strength, and to love our neighbor as ourselves. And the Great Commission, where Jesus tells us to make disciples of all nations. And we do that by going, baptizing, and teaching people who Jesus is, and teaching them by faith to obey everything that He has commanded, to see all of our life through that lens. This is the purpose that God has given us and designed us for. And when we line our lives up with this, our lives will feel so alive and abundant and filled with joy, even as we face the challenges and difficulties of living in a fallen world. So I hope you enjoy Psalm 90 today.